In the year 325 AD, a pivotal moment in history of Christianity unfolded, not on a battlefield, but in a council chamber. Bishops in robes, emperor in purple, and a religion at crossroads. This was the Council of Nicaea, the meeting that forged the foundations of modern Christianity. But was it guided by divine inspiration or imperial ambition? The Council of Nicaea was the first ecumenical council of the Christian Church. Called by Emperor Constantine I, it brought together over 300 bishops from across the Roman Empire. On the surface, it was about theology, specifically, the nature of Jesus Christ. Was he divine? Equal to God the Father? Or a created being? But beneath the robes and rituals, something far more political was at play. Constantine had just won a brutal civil war. He claimed victory under the sign of the Christian cross, though he wouldn't be baptized until his deathbed. His empire was fractured, and religious division threatened unity. The growing debate over Christ's divinity, especially the teachings of a priest named Arius, was tearing communities apart. Arius argued that Jesus was not eternal, but created by the Father. This view, known as Arianism, was spreading fast. But it clashed with bishops like Alexander of Alexandria and his protege, Athanasius, who insisted on Christ's full divinity. In this situation, Constantine intervenes. Constantine didn't care about metaphysics. He cared about control. A unified church meant a unified empire. Religious chaos threatened political stability. So in 325 AD, he summoned the bishops to Nicaea, not as a spiritual leader, but as a political strategist. For weeks, the bishops argued. Theology became a battlefield. But here's the key: decisions weren't revealed by divine vision. They were voted on. Literally, by show of hands, or by acclamation. And Constantine? He wasn't just a passive observer. He presided over the council, set the agenda, and made his preferences known. He wanted consensus. And he wanted it fast. The outcome? The Nicene Creed, a statement declaring that Jesus is begotten, not made, of the same essence as the Father. Full divinity and full unity with God was proclaimed. It was a triumph for Athanasius and his allies. Arianism was condemned as heresy. Books were burned. Bishops were exiled. But ask yourself, was this discovered or decided?
The Council of Nicaea wasn't about finding theological truth in a vacuum. It was about imperial management of religion. Constantine used the church as a tool of unity. The bishops, while sincere in their beliefs, operated under the shadow of imperial power.
And let's not forget, Constantine wasn't even a baptized Christian at the time. He was a sun worshipper who only later embraced Christianity. His conversion was likely as much about legitimacy as faith. Alignment of the church with emperor transformed Christianity from a persecuted sect into the empire's favored religion. The church gained wealth, influence, and state protection. And Constantine succeeded in his political goal of getting support of a unified church. The Council of Nicaea set a precedent. Doctrine by decree. Theology shaped by politics. Unity enforced by exile and imperial decree. While the Nicene Creed became a cornerstone of Christian orthodoxy, still recited in churches today, it was born not in quiet meditation, but in a high-stakes power play. So what does this mean for Christianity today? That its core beliefs were shaped not just by faith, but by the vote of bishops under the watchful eye of an emperor who cared more about order than salvation. Does that diminish the perceived truth of the faith? That's a question for theologians. But it reminds us that history is never pure. It's messy, human, political. The Council of Nicaea didn't just define Christ's divinity. It revealed how religion and power are forever intertwined. The next time you hear the words, God from God, light from light, true God from true God, remember, They were not whispered from heaven. They were voted on, in a room full of men, under an emperor's gaze.